Hey all, it's Var here, just going to be drawing off and I guess something approaching an introduction video. It'll, yeah, not perfect, but that's the loose intent at least, is to make an introductory video for things. Yeah, not certain yet what in terms of sketching, but I'll figure it out with time. Gonna let let the uh, that, that as it comes and leave it be. Just allow for existence in its own way. But yes, anyway, so yeah, Var, they them pronouns, not strictly new, but newly re-emerged, a good descriptor in terms of who I am compared to the system as a whole. So yeah, that's the basics there. It's been an interesting time to re-emerge, but getting on with it well enough for now. Yeah, I think in terms of any sort of purpose or reasoning or anything like that, yes, nothing too much that's specific. Just some level of thought process on probably that yeah, there's a consideration of it's probably one of the more fluid and both in terms of the ability to morph to fit the necessities of a situation, but also just yes, rather than being like I'm less rigidly held by fear than many, or that's not quite right. I am potentially this is simply adding risk, as some of my headmates would tell me, but rather than focusing on fear or the concerns of the moment, like sure, scared in the moment, feel the fear, whatever, but actually feel, like try and actually feel whatever the emotion is, rather than the more subdued nature of any, which I think is a perfectly reasonable way to be generally, but given the it's hard to know whether it's a helpful thing or a hindrance at the moment, because it's complicated, but I ended up with some of our more emotionally stabilizing forces or headmates are on something of a strike at the moment, which is arguably the perfect time for me to be around because I hold the most space for other options of considering or working with emotionality. But there's also the argument to be made that maybe my appearance is part of why, and it's helping prevent others from coming back, or it's helping perpetuate that strike, which is then perpetuating further harm and struggles to other headmates. I don't know, I'm rather annoyed. Yeah, it's not nice having the value of your re-emergence debated, and whether or not you're, sure, there's a point to be made in terms of, okay, if my re-emergence has helped contribute to the current difficulties, something worth knowing for the system, right? So that we can, in the future, work around that when a new headmate re-emerges in the future, or when we get a new headmate or a headmate re-emerges. Right? That's what I would like. I would like to be able to do that. I think a lot of the system would like that, but they're got too caught up in the messiness of that and it turning into, for some, throwing blame and accusations at me of this somehow being deliberate or, intentional on my part, which it definitively isn't. I didn't have much choice in this, and yeah, I was doing my own thing, basically. Well, no. I don't know, I got rescued from where I was inside, I was trapped away in a little box. Someone else held the key, trapped in the little cell, come out when I'm needed. And then, group led by Sedna came, brought me out, and then suddenly and that was nice. Wasn't very long there though, didn't get long. Out and free internally, and wasn't completely free, I was technically free, I could go and do whatever I wanted, but I took the recommendation of those that freed me and I went with them back to camp. Those that have been rescued and don't feel ready for everything yet, or haven't been assessed as ready, that's as in theory checks and balances and assessments most of the time, but sometimes as much as there's attempts to put some structure on who fronts, and or at least regulations on who fronts, and making sure that people who are fronting are safe for front. Yeah, sometimes it gets bypassed. Seems it's hard to read for certain, but it might be that as long as I'm not locked away, I just get pulled to front, or things that come up too often for it to reasonably be avoided. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that could be unlocked with time, but for now, I'm apparently here to stay. Not as a host or anything, but as another regular enough headmate. Hopefully, it works out. But yeah, should thank Vamps for yeah, Vamps has been great. One staunch supporter of just everything, just completely and utterly just yeah. Everyone else has had their doubts, had their questions, and yeah, I don't know. Some of them are accusing me of having brainwashed or seduced Vamps just because we happen to get along, and I guess I'm one of the first people Vamps saw in a way that wasn't, or one of the first headmates Vamps saw in a way that wasn't like grandparental in nature. So people have their suspicions, and I can't help that. And sure, did I, am I enjoying that attention? Well, definitely, as handsome and well, fun. There's a lot of fun to be had with him, which I think is yeah, as I'm sure some of the other mates, headmates potentially. That might be weird though. Actually, given Vance's relationship or emotional relationship to many of them, would probably be weird to do that sort of thing. And yeah, I guess that decision will have to make a call on that. Well, I might never make a call on that, but if that situation comes up, I'll have frank discussions with everyone involved, as the responsible adult I am. Same goes for anyone external that anything like that comes up with, But yeah, I think it's that might also be part of the concern. Actually, is me being who I am is apparently a greater risk because I'm not terrified of intimacy the way many of them are, and so yeah. I think many of them, obviously, well, not necessarily, most of them, we try and maintain this throughout the system, are entirely respectful of other people's decisions and support them to have whatever relationships they want, between consenting adults. Whatever you want, go for it. Whatever works for you and the people you're in relationships with. Right. Right. But many of them are terrified of any relationship that involves anything beyond friendly conversation, effectively. Which is understandable, there's been a lot of hurt in that area, although most of it was from people who shouldn't have been having those sorts of relationships with us at all. So, it's like, and from a time when we were never going to be ready to have some of those types of relationships that we had. So, like, yeah, and of course, some of them just don't have, romantic or sexual attraction, and that's chill too, of course. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's something that people often bring up in their intros, isn't it? Or headmates have done in the past. Forgot about that with pronouns and everything. Yeah, I guess non-binary, gender fluid. Mostly they them pronouns, obviously, but those might change in the future. We will see. I might change them or have let's say ask at some point as if they but they them is probably generally a safe bet for me. But yeah, Pan and so Pan and then probably Polly as well. Haven't determined for certain, but leaning that way certainly at this time, which yes makes sense. Yeah. So hey, that's a load of squiggly lines on a page, but it feels meaningful somehow. So that's cool. And that's an intro video. I don't know how long it is. Things are broken. Oh, yeah, we're having minor tech issues with things, so hopefully they get solved. But for now, I'm going to, yeah, apologies from the rest of the system that's taking this long to get a new video out. Hoping to get things going properly again in the new year. Get back to weekly videos. For now, this is this week's video. Yeah. Catch you all later, I guess.
This system signing out. Hope to catch you all next week. Please do remember to like, subscribe, comment, especially if you've got any questions you want answered. Be happy to answer them either in the comments or in another video. So catch you all next week.